Have you ever felt that heavy, gnawing voice of self-doubt? That quiet whisper that says you're not good enough, you can't handle this, you'll probably fail anyway. It doesn't matter if you're a student preparing for exams, an entrepreneur starting something new, or a parent questioning whether you're raising your children right. Self-doubt is a universal enemy. Now picture this. Rome, 2nd century AD. The empire is vast, stretched to its limits, surrounded by threats. And in the middle of it all sits Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man alive. You would expect that such a figure, commanding armies and holding absolute authority, lived untouched by insecurity. But open his private journal, what we now call Meditations, and you'll find not the words of an arrogant ruler, but the private thoughts of a man who struggled, questioned, and fought to master himself. He wrestled daily with fear, fatigue, and doubt. The difference is, he never let those feelings dictate his actions. Marcus wasn't born with unshakable confidence. He trained himself to overcome self-doubt through a radical shift in mindset. And that shift can transform you today, if you dare to embrace it. His words echo across centuries. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That is the essence of Stoicism. The enemy isn't the world, it's your interpretation of the world. Self-doubt is not an objective truth. It's a judgment, a lens through which you see reality. And the good news is, if you can create that lens, you can also change it. Think about your own life. When was the last time you hesitated to act because doubt convinced you that you weren't ready, worthy, or capable? Was it starting a business idea you've had for years? Was it standing up to speak in public? Was it telling someone you care about how you really feel each time you freeze? You hand over your freedom to fear. Marcus Aurelius refused to live that way. He focused on what was within his control, his choices, his thoughts, his actions, while discarding the rest. By mastering perception, he ended the tyranny of doubt and replaced it with calm, deliberate action. His journal entries weren't written for an audience, they were written for survival. And just like him, you are fighting battles inside yourself today. The same timeless tools that kept an emperor steady in chaos are available to you right now. So how exactly did Marcus Aurelius train his mind to dismantle doubt? The first practice was reframing obstacles. To him, every challenge was not an enemy, but an opportunity. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Consider that for a moment. Most people see difficulty as proof they should stop. Marcus saw difficulty as proof that growth was happening. When insulted, he saw a chance to practice patience. When betrayed, he saw a chance to practice forgiveness. When exhausted, he saw a chance to practice endurance. This reframe alone crushes much of self-doubt, because setbacks no longer scream, "You're weak." Instead, they whisper, "Here's your training." The second practice was separating what was in his control from what was not. Self-doubt thrives when we try to control the uncontrollable. We obsess over whether we'll succeed, whether people will approve, whether life will cooperate. But Marcus reminded himself daily, outcomes belong to fortune, effort belongs to me. Ask yourself, did you show up with integrity? Did you act with courage? Did you remain disciplined? If yes, then you've already won. The outcome is irrelevant. The third practice was daily journaling. Marcus didn't write Meditations as a book for us. He wrote notes to himself, reminders to return to reason. Each day he dissected his fears and corrected his thoughts. Imagine doing the same. In the morning, write, "What am I afraid of today?" In the evening, write, "What did I control and what did I waste energy on?" This habit exposes doubts and turns them into manageable thoughts instead of vague anxieties. Seneca emphasized this when he said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." How many times have you replayed a negative outcome in your head, only to realize reality was never that harsh? And Epictetus sharpened the lesson. It's no, but things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Doubt is judgment. Judgment can be retrained. Marcus Aurelius trained his mind like a soldier trains his body. He didn't aim for comfort. He aimed for mastery. That's why he could face betrayal, war, and plague without collapsing. And that's why you can face your doubts today and rise above them. How do we apply this in our noisy modern world, filled with distractions and endless comparisons? The first step is the Stoic exercise of the dichotomy of control. Whenever doubt surfaces, pause and ask, is this in my control? If the answer is no, someone else's opinion, the outcome of a job application, the reaction of strangers, release it, because it never belonged to you. If the answer is yes, your effort, your discipline, your preparation, then focus on it fully. This instantly clears mental clutter and centers your energy. The second step is shifting focus from outcome to process. Remember, Marcus wrote his meditations not from a place of comfort, but in times of crisis, wars, plagues, betrayals. Yet he still insisted the only true measure of success was living according to virtue. If you prepare well, act bravely, and stay disciplined, then whether you succeed or fail outwardly, you've already succeeded inwardly. The third step is voluntary discomfort. Self-doubt feeds on comfort zones. When every challenge feels unfamiliar, fear grows. The Stoics trained through hardship, cold baths, fasting, simple clothing, not because they loved pain, but because it dissolved fear. When you deliberately face discomfort, your mind learns that difficulty is survivable. Small hardships train you for bigger ones. The fourth step is nightly reflection. Ask yourself, did I let fear stop me today? Did I act with reason? Did I waste energy on things beyond my control? Reflection drags doubt from the shadows into the light, where it loses power. Imagine living this way, no longer paralyzed by what others might think, no longer chained by the fear of failure. Instead, calm, grounded, and unshaken, like Marcus Aurelius himself. Self-doubt will never vanish entirely. It's part of being human, but it becomes background noise, not a ruling voice. The Stoics remind us, greatness doesn't belong to the fearless, but to the disciplined. Marcus Aurelius wasn't superhuman. He was human who practiced daily. He wasn't without doubt. He simply refused to bow to it. And you can follow that same path. Today, stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I act with courage no matter what? That question, lived out daily, is the Stoic cure for self-doubt.